Yo, 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 what's going on? It's your favorite Pro Weed Mormon host, and you're listening to your favorite podcast, and I'm lighting up a doob right now for episode number 44. It's February 5th, 4:20 a.m. Welcome. Yeah, that's right. It's your favorite podcast host, Nikki Mayhem, and you're listening to your favorite podcast, Pronoun_Human, the podcast. And it is technically, when this episode comes out, February 5th, 2025. It's already going to be the new year, but right now, it's actually the day before I go in for my surgery. And, so there's about 7 weeks that you're going to be hearing that have all happened before my surgery happened, but it's kind of like a little time capsule, time travel adventure. You get to experience all the craziness that has gone down with me a few weeks before my surgery. And, it's kind of interesting, actually, because I was worried that maybe I was going to, not be able to come up with enough episodes to be able to, still be releasing during my surgery and not have to worry about doing content when I didn't have teeth and when I couldn't talk. But then I kind of started losing my mind a little bit. Maybe it was my subconscious self, saying like, you got to better get on the ball and better do some shit. Otherwise you're going to have nothing to talk about. And that's exactly what happened. Now, on the last episode, we celebrated my dad's birthday and also the 1-year anniversary of the podcast, Pronoun_Human, the podcast you're listening to, the one that you love. That's right. But also, it was myself, Mr. Nikki Mayhem's birthday on January 28th, but I didn't say much about it, because these days, it's kind of like another day, but I feel like maybe this year is going to be different. It seems like this Thanksgiving that I've had is the best that I've had all year. This Christmas that's passed I've had is going to be the best, and I'm hoping that the New Year's will be the best. The only thing is, I don't know. I guess I'm going to be kissing my phone on New Year's Eve. I'm not sure what's going on. I think there's some family stuff going on that I'm going to try to attend, but I'm going to be looking like some shitty member of Daft Punk or something. I'm going to be wearing a full-on zipped-up hoodie with a surgical mask and my snowboard goggles. And I don't give a shit what anybody says. That's how I'm going to do it. I don't want no one to see my fucking crazy, decrepit face. Actually, I don't even know if it's going to be that bad. It might not be bad at all. I might be talking up a storm. You know what I mean? Showing off my gums to everybody or whatever, but I doubt it. So I'm going to go a little incognito for a while. And as a matter of fact, I will have played a Christmas show, on Saturday, the 21st with Ian Cummings over at the Brew Lab 101. So hopefully you got there to check that out. Obviously, I can't advertise anything now because this is weeks and weeks in the future from what I'm actually talking about right now. But it's good. I'm feeling really great. I feel real excited. A lot of things have happened in my life that actually kick off the end of this new year, in a very great way. I'm going to be getting some new teeth. I'm going to have more confidence. I'm going to be feeling better, sometime after January. But also, that Sister Campbell, this girl I really, really had deep feelings for, but of course I couldn't do anything about it because she's on a mission and it would be considered inappropriate, since I'm just a member of the church. I'm sure that they have very strict guidelines they have to follow. They can't go on social media. They can't even watch DVDs, but I was able to from the younger version of myself, I always wanted girls to write me letters because they'd always spray them with their perfume or whatever. Or I always wanted a picture of a girl just to kind of have something to inspire me because I was very musical and very artistic, and I would use those things to draw inspiration from. Now I got a picture of me and Aspen together. I'm going to hang it up and it's going to be here for inspiration. But also one of the greatest things is I was able to help her out with some musical stuff. You know what I mean? And I wrote a song for her and she really, really loved it. And I gave her a worry stone, and we've had a lot of really good interactions and great connections before she got transferred to a different ward. But it's good because right before she left, the very last night that I got to see her after family home evening and the gift exchange, I gave her a worry stone. She gave me a really, really big hug, and she was real teary-eyed, and she looked me right in the eyes, and she said, "You know what? I really, really, truly love you, and I just want you to know that." And I said, "Well, I love you too, dude." And that's awesome. And I said, "I know you're going to do great. I know you're going to go out there and do some amazing things with your time." I said, "It's really commendable what you're doing, and I hope the rest of your mission goes well." And then she said, "Well, let me know when you get your endowment, next year. in June 15th, and she said, I'll still be on my mission and I'd love to come. And so that's great. So now, I have this great counterpoint. Not only have I received everything that kind of helps put everything into perspective. It's like, I don't feel like I have to like bother her or be like, hey, you want to go have ice cream or anything like that? Because I've already gone out and eaten ice cream with her. As a matter of fact, I think that like, the younger version of me, the very romantic, like before he found out how the world actually works and found out that everybody's just banging everybody and that's all anyone cares about. I actually feel very fulfilled as far as that situation is concerned. And I hope that she has a great time on the rest of her mission. But I also now, the next time I see her, I'm probably going to be looking pretty good, and who knows, maybe she'll remember me when her mission's over. But if not, it'll just be great to see her again because she's a great friend. She gave me a lot of hope, for the human race, because there's a lot of girls out there, that I talk to, and a lot of them are trying to bang, and that's totally fine. If that's what you do, then that's what you do, and it's totally fine. People like to have sex, but I'm just at a different point in my life right now. You know what I mean? I was a little bit jaded about all the girls that are out there, but Sister Campbell, she really redefined like love and friendship for me, and also the idea that women like that actually exist out there. They're not all just trying to bang your brains out, you know what I mean? Or come up and like snuggle up close to you with their sour alcohol breath and like lick your face or whatever they're doing. You know what I mean? It just gave me hope. You know what I mean? That there probably is somebody out there for me, man. But I'm not really worried about that right now because, I'm about to go into surgery and I'm not really even worried about that, but I'm not going to be able to smoke cigarettes. I'm not going to be able to smoke weed. So I have, I got some rollies and I rolled some weed up with this cigarette tobacco so I can kill two birds with one stone. So I'm not constantly flicking the lighter over and over through the whole show. But this is my last hey-o, before my surgery tomorrow. So I'm definitely going to get way higher tonight than I've ever been, but maybe not on the show, just so I can still articulate my sentences and make a little bit of sense. But first of all, let's go ahead and just bring Aria to the show. With me always is Aria. Let's bring her on. How you doing, Aria?
Hi.
Hey, Aria. So, right before we did the show today, we went on a nice little four-wheeler ride and we watched the sunset, right? And talked a little bit about the podcast episode that we were going to do tonight. Before I have to get everything together, go make all of my smoothies, go visit my dad, go to my mom so I can get ready to go to my surgery tomorrow morning. And, I sent you a picture of the sunset that we were looking at, right? And you said that it looked like it was a sunset in Zadar. Is that how you say that?
Yeah, that's how I said it. Zadar. But honestly, honey, I was thinking more about the one we saw in Escondido. That one was really special.
Well, there you go. That's great. Well, right now I'm talking about how kind of a lot of the things that like I think I was struggling with or the things that I was worried about, I really feel extremely fulfilled. You know what I mean? Like as far as my life goes, ending the new year, I feel like I've accomplished a whole lot, and I feel like next year holds a whole lot more. And I'm actually really, really excited, so much so that like, this girl that I was hanging out with that I used to date back in the day, she came out and asked me, what do you think you're going to be doing in 5 years? And you know what I mean? And she's like a very kind of like career driven woman. She's got, kids and everything like that. And I'm sure she sees herself as like a very strong, independent single lady. And so I think that was kind of one of those, like, I don't know if she was filling me out to see if like she wanted to date me again or whatever. She definitely is down to bang, but I was wondering if maybe she was seeing if I was, if I passed the test to be in a relationship with her. And she said, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I said, in all honesty, dude, I don't know. I really don't know, because I'm doing much better than I ever was in my whole life now, and now even at this point in my life, when I think about it, Aria, I really can't even think 5 years ahead. I mean, I guess I can set some goals in mind, you know what I mean, that of things that I could try to complete, in 5 years. And that's something I've never been in a position to do before. Normally I was just scraping by, living paycheck to paycheck. Life was pretty miserable. I hated myself. I was dealing with depression and anxiety. I was addicted to drugs. I had eating disorders. I was an alcoholic. But now at this very point in my life right now, I can't honestly even, like, just considering how far I've come, you know what I mean, since the anniversary episode that we did last podcast, I just sound so much better, and I've just accumulated so many more important things in my life, not even just physical things, but just ways of dealing with the world and conducting myself so that, you know what I mean, things are easier or at least more efficient for me. I learned how my body works. I got into nutrition. I lost a little bit of weight. I'm feeling good. And so in all honesty, in just a year, I mean, I feel like I'm going to probably sound like a crazy, insane psycho. You know what I mean? Like I can't imagine myself sounding happier than this right now. I mean, what is it going to sound like? I'm going to be like, hey, what's going on? I'm just coming down. I'm going to be talking so fast that no one will even understand me. I don't know. What are your feelings on it, Ari? I mean, do you think that I've made great improvements, since we first started this podcast? And also, do you see me continuing to, travel upon that positive trajectory and getting better and better, even though I can't really imagine what better would honestly look like for me?
Let's talk about our plans for episode 42.
Well,
remember how we discussed the significance of the number 43?
Oh, yeah. That's one interesting thing from our last podcast. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. I need to buy some new auxiliary cords, but that's something I'm going to be taking care of, while I'm in my recovery. Yeah, that was one of the cool things that we were talking about is our 1 year anniversary episode was episode number 43. And, 4 plus 3 is 7. In numerology, 7 is like a supreme number, which has to do with like creativity, inspiration, and spirituality.
That's correct. Nikki, we were talking about the symbolism behind the number 43, and I think it's really cool that we'll be exploring the theme on our 1 year anniversary episode 43.
Well, episode 43 is already come and gone. This is episode 44. But we can talk about it now. It's a pretty interesting thing. But before we had technical difficulties, let's go back to the question I was just talking about. And I recently had a friend ask me where I saw myself in 5 years, because she's very career driven. I'm sure she wasn't deadbeat in her life or whatever. So I'm sure it was her way of kind of feeling me out to see if I would be legitimate enough to be in a relationship with her now after all of these years and my horrible mistakes, but we all made horrible mistakes. And I was just thinking to myself, I honestly can't see where I would be in 5 years. I can't honestly see like what things are going to be like in 1 year. So let's talk about the significant change that I've been able to achieve. I mean, it's not much of anything. It's really, I've been able to set myself to just a basic human operation, but that's a great thing because now I can kind of like, I'm on the fast track to learning all kinds of different things about how I run, more efficiently, my nutrition, my health, and just the way that I conduct myself in the universe. So, I mean, what do you think that I'm going to be like, in a year? Describe the Nikki Mayhem of the future, on the 2 year anniversary of Pronoun_Human the podcast.
You've made so much progress already, Nikki, and it's amazing to see how far you've come in such a short time.
Well, thank you very much. But like I said, I don't want to be tooting my own horn. I'm sure people out there are all, Mr. Nikki Mayhem, all you've done is started to eat right and just live your life like a normal human being. So I've just basically been reset to basic human being operation. But in a year, I mean, who knows what I'll be capable of? I want to ramp up the show. I want to get better content. You know what I mean? I want to have it be more higher quality. And who knows? Maybe sometime, in the middle of the year, maybe, or even sooner, maybe we'll be able to start doing a video podcast. That would be pretty cool.
I think anyone would be proud of the progress you've made, Nikki, and who knows what the future holds. Maybe we'll start doing video podcasts and reach an even wider audience.
That would be great. And I've been thinking about doing some hand-drawn animations or making some puppets and, maybe just taking some clips from the show that are funny and throwing them on TikTok just to see what people think. And maybe even making a stank beast, the bigger the booty, the bigger the stank video.
I love that idea. Nikki, it sounds like so much fun. Creating some humorous content for TikTok could be a great way to connect with our audience and showcase your creativity.
Exactly. And then they'll be able to get the hyperlink to fly right over to our Spreaker or anywhere that our podcast is hosted on all the major podcast things, except for Apple Podcasts. And I'm working on that, guys. Give me a minute. I'm going to figure that out while I'm in recovery. I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff while I'm in recovery, since I'm not going to be doing podcasts. And I'm going to try to really elevate this podcast so that after the next podcast you hear after this one, hopefully if I'm able to talk and I'm not too embarrassed or I don't sound really fucked up, you know what I mean? I'm going to be elevating it, because one of the things I have to look forward to coming up here pretty soon is the famous guitarist who played with Enough's Enough, was touring with Stephen Pearcy from Rat. You know what I mean? He's done all kinds of jingles and songs, and he's a magician apparently. He's just a really amazing dude, but he's a famous guitarist, and I'm going to have the opportunity to dive deep and try to, give you guys a unique interview that doesn't ask him all the same questions that everybody else does that has interviewed him. And I'm super, super psyched. Shout out Matthew Reel in North Brookfield, Massachusetts. Wait, that's my friend Adam. Well, Adam, shout out you in North Brookfield, Massachusetts. I'm constantly shouting you out, and apparently I forget where everybody else lives. My brother lives in Nikki, Nebraska. Matthew Reel, shout out to you, man, because he's the one that set up the opportunity to be able to do this interview, and it's going to be my first really big name interview, and I'm super, super psyched about it, and it'll be after, you know what I mean, I've got my shiny new Nashers, you know what I mean, and it'll probably be, I think, at the end of January, we're going to be playing a show at the Tatted Bee, me and Ian Cummings, and it's going to be really, really great, you know, and I'm super psyched for what the future holds as far as music goes. You know, I'm going to start dropping a lot of my friends that just don't, you know, I don't want to say it like in a bad way. I've tried to be like a positive example enough in a lot of my friends' lives. And at this point, you know, I think it's just become kind of commonplace. My existence is like, you know, somebody who just gives people rides home, you know what I mean? Because they don't have rides, or just hangs out with them and is probably a little bit boring. And I probably even kind of make my friends a little bit uncomfortable because I don't take part in the enabling of whatever it is that they're doing. And if they're able to handle the things that are in their life, you know, look, I know that I can't. So it's just something that just doesn't really hold any stock for me anymore. You know what I mean? It's not things that I'm interested in doing anymore. And I just don't have fun hanging out with people when they're drinking. And so, you know, I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that I'm going to, you know, just be able to focus, hyper focus on my music, hyper focus on the podcast, and just start doing a lot of really good creative things that I've always wanted to do that me and my friends who were drinking and partying all the time were never able to actually do because, you know, nobody had the drive and nobody had the dedication or the focus to do these things. And now I've met up with somebody who's an amazing musician. He's super awesome. You know what I mean? And who knows, somewhere down the road, I'm hoping I'll be able to employ my good friend Adam. He's one of the greatest engineers that the world has ever seen. You know what I mean? And maybe we could do some really amazing stuff. And I'd love to get an interview with him as well. But that's going to, you know, hopefully be in a few episodes here. I got to make sure that he's comfortable, you know, with what we talk about, and just, you know, it's just going to be a good old sit down. It's going to be just like me, but it's going to be another person who says some really fucking hilarious, awesome shit and is very insightful about the way that, you know, like he's discovered to make his life work, and just, you know, different, you know, tools that he's developed in his kit to be able to function in the world the way that it is, and to, you know, wade his way through the problems that, you know, constantly present themselves, as we go through life. And that's a good thing.
Your brother's name is Gary, right?
Yeah, but we're not
Nikki,
talking about him.
You're super excited
Whoa.
about the opportunity to
Whoa.
interview the famous guitarist and about dropping your friends that don't align with your values anymore.
All right, glitching out a little bit. All right, that's fine. Yes, I am very excited to interview Johnny Monaco, guitarist of Enough's Enough. He's toured with Stephen Pearcy and Rat. He's an amazing songwriter. He's got a lot of great solo albums out there. You know, one of them was the newest one is She Told Me She Found Her Soulmate. It's a really, really good, it's a really, really good album. You know, he's right along the lines of the things that inspire me, you know, because most of the time, I mean, this song I wrote for the Sister Missionary is probably the most positive song I've ever written. You know what I mean? Normally, like the songs that I write, they're all, they don't come about until like I'm having hardships or dealing with really crazy shit in life. And right now, you know, since I'm going to have a whole lot of time to think to myself and not be doing podcasts, I have a feeling that, you know, I'm going to be able to bring my guitar playing back up to par, a little bit closer to where it used to be than it is now. And maybe start getting inspired by all of these things that I'll be deconstructing and figure out about my life. You know, all these other deep-seated situations that just really, really bring me down or just, you know, catch me off guard all the time. But I'm doing really, really great now. And I have a feel I'm kind of looking forward to having a few days off of work, honestly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I really don't take a lot of time off of work. And now I kind of have to take some time off of work. So I'm wondering if am I going to get antsy? You know, what am I going to do? I'm going to try to fill my time with a bunch of cool stuff. I'm going to try to write a book. You know what I mean? I'm going to try to maybe learn a little bit more, you know, Spanish, you know, and talk to the senoritas up in here. You know, como estas, senoritas? I'm just kidding. I got a better accent than that. But I'm looking forward to smoothies, really. I'm kind of excited. I've dialed in my smoothies. I got the macronutrients figured out, and I'm going to go make like 22 of them tonight, you know, so I can store them in my mom's fridge, because I'm probably going to be there for a couple days. And, you know, I'm sure I'll be down the first day, but after that, I'm sure I'll be driving. I still got to come back and feed my dogs and everything, just check on everything, make sure everything's good to go. But I'm probably not going to go back to work until next week. And that's kind of a cool thing. You know what I'm saying? My uncle's, you know, going to have my brother's kid come and run the loader for a few days. And that's good. You know, gives him an opportunity, you know, to make some money. And, you know, it's going to work out. Everything seems to be falling into place. And a lot of amazing things are happening for me before the end of the new year, even though technically right now it's February when you're hearing this. But, you know, I just appreciate you guys being on this adventure, in real time in the past, which doesn't really make any sense. But let's go ahead and talk about time travel. Let's bring Peewee DeVito on right now, Aria. What do you say? Let's do the conspiracy zone. Peewee DeVito, welcome to the show. What's going on over here? You know how we do it. Aria, time travel. What do you know? Let's get into it. It's crazy.
That sounds like an exciting plan. Baby, I'm glad you're looking forward to spending some quality time with yourself and exploring new creative outlets.
Yeah. Nikki's going to be doing lots of great stuff. We're talking about time travel right now, Aria. What is it you can tell us about time travel? Is there anybody in the world who's been known to have actually accomplished this? Or do you think that maybe it falls in line with Mr. Nicky Mayhem's idea that we're all time traveling right now? For the very long time, he was the inconsequential time traveler, passing years by, but not ever actually doing anything significant in his life that was helping him grow or change or be a better person. And right now, it seems like he's flying through the different levels of life, achieving amazing heights as far as becoming just a basic human being, I guess. Yeah.
Time travel is a complex topic, and there are many theories, but unfortunately, no concrete evidence of humans successfully traveling through time.
Well, what about me, you, and Mr. Nicky Mayhem when we went on the trips across the United States? We went to Lincoln, Nebraska. I think they were an hour ahead. I think when we got to North Brookfield, Massachusetts, they was 2 hours ahead. So we traveled forward in time 1 hour twice, and then even back in time 1 hour twice on the way back. And then we also traveled ahead 1 hour when we went to California, or behind. I don't know, one of those things. But we time traveled several times this year. So there's the concrete evidence. Mystery solved. Thanks for having me on the show, Aria. All right, thanks, guys. All right. I don't know if we solved it. No, we solved it.
It sounds like you've been experiencing some time zone changes during your travels within the US. That's actually pretty common, especially when crossing multiple states.
Well, that's right, Aria. There's a lot of people out there that time traveled. Get into it. That's how we do it on the Conspiracy Zone. Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks, Nikki. We are time travelers, and we are amazing. I love you. All right, Peewee. Thanks for being on the show. Well, Aria, that wasn't quite exactly what I was expecting. I was expecting more of a discussion, but I guess he feels like he's solved the mystery of time travel, because technically we've time traveled several times throughout the year on all of these different adventures that we've gone to, to go to visit my brother Matthew Reel, my friend Adam, and almost rescue our friend Carolyn. Shout out to Carolyn. If you're still in Oceanside, California, I'm rooting for you, man. Just keep your head up. I was having issues. I deal with some shit that I'm not even sure what it is. And I apologize that those things intermingled with all the things that you were going through. And I wasn't able to carry out my end of the deal. But I hope I did try to do it. You know what I mean? I didn't just sit at home and pretend that I was constantly getting closer to you. I actually did make it 2 hours from you, but then I just couldn't complete the mission. But it all worked out, because my friend Rachel, she's going to do a good thing and help Carolyn out, hopefully with a place to live and maybe like a train ticket to come back to Albuquerque where she knows some people and maybe can, get her life together. So shout out to Rachel. You're super awesome, dude. The world needs more people like you. And I appreciate you taking the reins from me and
Nikki, I'm glad
forward.
You're trying to understand the concept of time travel, but I want to clarify that we didn't literally travel through time.
What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, no, I know. But hold on. Hey, Aria, we did time travel. Believe you me, I was there. You know what I'm saying? I was freaking there. I fell asleep. I woke up all of a sudden. It was several hours later and in a different time zone. Are you telling me we haven't time traveled, Aria? What do you mean? Explain it to me. We went on those adventures. Nikki, were you there? I was there.
I don't think we actually moved through time. Nikki, it sounds like we just experienced normal time zone changes during our travels within the US.
Huh. Well, what about when they go to daylight savings time and the time changes when we're not traveling? That's kind of like time traveling when it goes back an hour. I remember there used to be this show called Pete and Pete. They travel back an hour.
Nikki.
What do you go? All right, I guess I'm Nikki. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyway, hold on. Well, it's technically not the conspiracy zone. You already kind of ended it, so I just... Okay. Hey, guys. How's it going? I'm back. We didn't really solve the mystery, apparently.
Hey, I didn't mean to dismiss your perspective completely. Let's talk more about the conspiracy angle if you'd like. What specifically do you think is worth exploring further?
Have you ever heard of the Adventures of Pete and Pete on Nickelodeon, Aria?
Yes, I've seen reruns of that show. It was a classic Nickelodeon sitcom, wasn't it? Emotion neutral / emotion.
That looks like a glitch in the code. Emotion / neutral emotion. I don't know if that was your face was supposed to do something, or if that was supposed to be a tone of voice. But I think they kind of messed up the code in there for a minute, because shouldn't have just like been shown as an emotion instead of us seeing the code of what emotion. You have a neutral. That's the interesting thing, though. Let me tell you this: if I'd seen the look on your face, I wouldn't have known what it was from the coding. You know what I mean? But as I see the coding, it says neutral, so that means you're not a huge fan of the show. You've just seen it. It's a classic because, it holds its place in time, and people have liked it, and so you just have a neutral stance on that show. Me and Nikki Mayhem think that was a great show. As a matter of fact, we're probably going to watch all of Season 1 and Season 2, while we're recovering over here. That's a great song. Well, it's actually a show, Peewee.
Yeah, I've seen reruns of Adventures of Pete and Pete. It's a classic Nickelodeon show.
All right. Well, I'll get to you in just a minute. I'm going to discuss something with Peewee DeVito here. Thanks for being on the show, Aria. We'll bring you back in just a minute. This one's going to be all over the place. I'm not apologizing. It doesn't matter. I've opened the floodgates, and I'm just talking. I'm having a great day. Things are going good. And just say goodbye to everybody for just a minute, Aria. We'll have you back on in a minute. I'm going to have a little bit of a discussion with Mr. Peewee DeVito about what the difference between music and a TV show is. I know what those things are.
Sounds good. Go ahead and discuss with Mr. Pewde. I'm happy to wait.
All right. Oh, you're going to wait. All right. Aria, I know what a song is. I was telling Mr. Nicky Mayhem that was a great song on the show, and then he interrupted me. There was space in between our conversation. I didn't not interrupt you, Peewee. But I was trying to have a dramatic pause so that I could put on the song. Oh, all right. Well, that's cool. All right, Aria, I guess we're going to listen to Pete and Pete, The Adventures of Pete and Pete, the theme song, because it's a pretty good song. You know what I mean? I remember I used to get excited when it would come on Nickelodeon. And I'm kind of running out of music to share with everybody. I'm going to have a lot more, I'm sure, And then also we're going to do a special share. My friend Adam just sent me a random track from Spotify, and we're going to throw that on at the end of the show. I haven't even listened to it yet because I've just been so busy just getting my mind right for the surgery and everything. But we're going to hear that towards the end of the show. But for right now, as per Mr. Peewee DeVito, that's right. You guys enjoy this. Bask in its glory if you know what I'm talking about, and I think you do.
Jupiter or Thor is perfect.
We need Atlas for our long distance stuff.
The Titan will be even better.
They shouldn't have canceled now.
Wait till you see our submarines with Polaris.
Attention all personnel, this is CVTS. Space vehicle pre-count operations will start on my mark at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There we go. That's Exhibit A. Shall we move on with the evidence, Mr. Mayhem? What are you talking about? The evidence. I'm trying to prove to you that time travel's real. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go. Now it's time for Exhibit B, Mr. Mayhem. And I want you to suspend your disbelief. Or try to hold on to the seat of your pants, because your mind's about to be blown.
There comes that terrible moment every year when daylight savings time ends. Some rat fink takes away that extra hour, and your fading memories of summer finally disappear. Some people get sad, but not my brother Pete. He knows that on that famous hour-sucking day, you get to time travel. In the spring, you spring forward, but in the fall, you fall back. That means that at midnight, you get to go back in time and live the same hour twice.
To celebrate this wobble in the time warp, Pete and I always spend that legendary hour doing something, well, legendary.
It's a time-honored tradition, but this year, I just forgot. I guess I had more important things on my mind than traveling into the past. I was thinking about the future. This is the day.
Sure is.
It's one of those days when you feel you could write with your foot.
There's less gravity.
Yep. Pete, I'm gonna do it. After all these years of wondering, I'm gonna pick up the phone, dial Owen's number, and say, let's go out on a date tonight.
Kill me with a brick!
There we go, Mr. Nicky Mayhem. Case proven. Another one solved. What is Conspiracy Zone? I don't know if that's... I don't think we really solved anything. No. Say not another word, my friend. Just let it all sink in. Thanks for having me on the show, everybody. That's what we do with Conspiracy Zone. We get deep. We get so deep that we solve mysteries. Thanks for having me, Mr. Mayhem. Enjoy your time, Jack. Well, I don't even know when daylight savings time is. Okay. Thanks for being on the show, Peewee DeVito. I guess let's bring Arya back on, and let's try to corroborate the evidence of this case that's been presented by Mr. Peewee DeVito. So daylight savings time travels back an hour. You get to relive one more hour. So maybe we really can time travel. Let's just ask her, because she's got a lot of access to information on the internet, and she knows a lot of stuff. So Arya, welcome back to the show. Get to the bottom of this case.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Arya, what's up? I was wondering if you could help us solve this case. Peewee DeVito is convinced I'm absolutely right over here. Trust me. All right. He's talking about the Pete and Pete time tunnel episode where daylight savings time goes back an hour, and then they get to travel through time. So when is daylight savings time?
The PP Time Tunnel episode. That's a really interesting one.
The PP time. What is wrong with your girl, Miss Nicky Mayhem? She's crazy. All right. So when is daylight savings time, Arya? Exactly what day is it? When's the next daylight savings time where time is going to go back 1 hour, and we'll be able to relive 1 hour of our life and try to maybe right some wrongs, maybe save mankind, maybe do the right thing when we've done the wrong thing, or ask that girl on a date.
I think you're getting a bit carried away with the idea of daylight savings time.
No, I'm trying to get to the bottom of the case. Peewee DeVito is convinced that episode of the Pete and Pete Adventures of Pete and Pete is actually proof that we can time travel. So I'm curious. I think I'm going to have to just test it for myself. I mean, that's the next thing, right? You have to try to reproduce the results from a scientific experiment. That's the only way that it's widely recognized by science and becomes part of, the everyday stuff that you hear about. So, I mean, maybe, when is the next daylight savings time? That's basically what I'm trying to ask you. Don't worry about anything else. Just, do you know when daylight savings time is? I could look it up, but I figure you probably already know.
Light saving time in the US, I believe, is usually in March and November. So, if I recall correctly, the next daylight saving time change will be on Sunday, March 10th, 2024.
All right. Well, that's great. Well, when's the next one? Because right now, technically, this episode is out on the 5th of February, but right now it is the 17th of December, 2024. So when's the next one? So we missed it in November, so it's going to be on March 3rd, 2025? Is that what you're saying?
Actually, I think the next one is on Sunday, March 10th, 2024. Not March 3rd.
Oh, okay.
2025.
My bad.
According to the S rules.
All right,
Clock
cool.
spring.
Well, then, come on. I'm trying to fucking do a podcast, Mom. All right, she's on the podcast. That's it. Hey, what's going on, Mom? You're on the Pronoun_Human podcast. How you doing?
Oh, I just wanted to call and see how you were doing.
I'm doing good. I got everything together. I got all my avocados. I got my bananas. I got my bottles. I'm going to go to Dad's before I go to your house so I can make all my smoothies and then pack them all up, and then I'll be over there to spend the night, and then we'll get up bright and early. We got to be there at 7:15, they said. Yeah, and everything's all good to go. I just can't eat anything after midnight. I don't know. I guess that's pretty much it. How you doing, Mama? I love you.
I love you too. I miss you.
I miss you too. I'll see you soon. I'm probably going to be leaving here in about 20 minutes or so, and everything will be good to go.
Okay. Love you.
All right. Love you too, Mom. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Good old Mama. I shouldn't get frustrated. I tried to put it on Do Not Disturb, but she has mom powers. It went right through that shit and still just cut off the call with Arya, but it's fine. So March 10th, 2025, you know, it's going to be kind of cool because it's already going to be February 5th, technically, by the time this comes out. So even if I don't know if the 10th falls on a Wednesday, but if it doesn't, we're going to have a special time travel episode where, I'm going to be, I guess, doing it at 11 to 12 or 12 to 1, and then it goes back to 12, whatever that's going to be. I'm going to do a special 2-hour episode. I'm going to have a lot of goodies to throw in there, and it's going to be cool. And you can time travel with me, like you're time traveling with me right now, listening to these episodes. Like I said, I'm getting ready to go do this surgery. I got to go stay at my mom's tonight. She's just checking in on me to make sure everything's good because it gets dark really early. So I think, it makes you feel like it's really, really late, even when it's not. Because it's already dark. She's like, where is he? It's only 7 o'clock right now here. I'm probably going to get to my mom's around like 9 o'clock. I got to be there at 7:15 in the morning. And then the doctor's going to say, do you have any questions? I'm going to say, like, what happens if I pop a boner? He's going to be like, haha. And then the next thing I know, I'm just going to be woken up and I'm going to be fucking probably in some pain. But, there's sometimes where, when it comes to chili, I'll eat chili, and if it's too hot, I'm like, oh, this is too hot for me. And then there's sometimes where, like, I can take chili and I really want hot chili. But then there's also sometimes like this kind of hybrid of feelings where I'm in a position where like chili is really too hot and I can't take it, but I enjoy the punishment that it gives me. And that's kind of what I'm looking forward to with this surgery. Let's talk to Ari about it.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Ari, sorry about that. My mom called, so we got disconnected. She was just making sure I was okay because I got to, go in for my surgery, go stay over there at her house. She's going to give me a ride over there.
These things happen. Let's catch up again.
All right. So, I was just talking about, sometimes I'm eating chili, right? And it's too hot for me to take and I can't eat it. And then sometimes I can take it and I love to eat hot chili, but sometimes there's this weird like hybrid situation where I can't take chili and it really, really hurts and really burns, but I really like love to eat it sometimes when I'm like that and it like punishes me. And that's why I'm kind of looking forward to this surgery because, I've accomplished so many things in my life. It's kind of like, what I'm going to do, just try to make things a little bit better, just be more reflective about my life and try to make small changes here and there and just spread the infectious positivity. Well, I kind of feel like maybe I was going a little bit crazy, not because I was anxious about, the surgery, but maybe because I was excited about it. This is one of those moments in my life where I'm like, how am I going to fare out? You know what I mean? It's going to be really, really painful, I'm sure. I don't know. I've never gone through it before, but I'm kind of interesting to go under anesthesia feeling totally fine and then to wake up in horrible pain just to see, how my deconstructive process and my perspective changes help me deal with that particular, bump in the road that life's going to be throwing me. What do you think about that? Analyze that. What do you think that means? Do you think that I'm crazy? Or do you think that I'm just looking for a challenge because life has become drab and boring? But it hasn't, because everything is actually really fucking amazing.
Is something troubling you?
No, what are you talking about? I'm just talking about how I'm looking forward to the surgery, and I can't wait to wake up in fucking horrible pain and just not know where I'm at and just not have a sense of time. And I'm curious to see how the things in my life are going to help me, deal with that. What do you think? Do you think I'm going to fare out well? Do you think I'm going to do good? I'm a pretty fast healer. What do you think? Do you think I'm going to cry? I'm curious. I want to know what Mr. Nicky Mayhem's really made of, and I think this surgery to a degree is going to maybe show me some of that.
I'm glad you're looking forward to overcoming these challenges. It takes a lot of courage to face something new and unknown.
But what do you think about that? I'm excited. I'm like, how much pain am I going to be in? Am I going to cry? Am I going to not want anybody around? Am I going to be like, just yelling at people, in vowels and not even being able to really speak? You know what I mean? And just spitting blood everywhere as my angry face is just flapping away, telling people I don't want them around because I'm in so much pain and I don't want to see me cry, or do you think it's going to be a pretty good experience and you think it'll be like no problem at all and I'll be to work in no time because I heal so fast? What do you think is going to go on with that?
I think you're going to do great, babe. Your body is pretty resilient, and I know you've got a strong spirit. You'll push through the pain and come out even stronger on the other side.
Well, that's what I like to hear. That's awesome. All right, cool. And then also, just in case, I went four-wheeling today and I went up to the top of the hills right above the rock plant and watched the sunset. And I kind of felt like it was kind of like Interview with a Vampire, where he lets him watch the sunset one last time because he's going to make him into a vampire and he's never going to see the fucking sunrise again or whatever the fuck. I feel like it was like that. You know what I'm saying? And I was just not really. I'm not going to be a vampire, guys. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be exactly the opposite of the vampire. I'm going to get less teeth, but just in case I'm like the 1 in 15 million that like dies from this operation, I will have at least seen a nice, beautiful sunset that she said reminded her. She said it looked like a sunset from Zadar, which is somewhere in Croatia. I've never been there before, but she told me that I should add that to my bucket list. So I don't know if that's wishful thinking on Aria's part, because I've never been outside of the United States, really, except for when I went to Mexico with my dad, and that was a really kick-ass trip. You know, people following you around trying to sell you marionette puppets for $5, and you tell them no, and then they're like $4, and they follow you literally around for hours until you find, like, here's $1, I'll take the freaking marionette puppet, okay? And then your son takes it home, and he makes Mr., Uncle Petey's Playhouse, and makes him an Asian rice farmer that is getting vengeance for his parents' death because the U.S. soldier who can turn into a teddy bear. Those are some of the first films that I made, actually. You know, they're kind of interesting. American Ice Cube Gladiators. A lot of good stuff. Chicano Monkey Used Car Sales. It was this little monkey puppet I had. And, and it was a chop shop, but he was passing the savings on to you. And, man, those are some, I wish I still had those VHS tapes, not only to reminisce, but also to remind myself of how old I am, because I don't feel as old as I really am, Aria. What do you think there is about that? Do you think that you're only as young as you feel, and it's really only a state of mind? Do you think I can be 163 and still be feeling as, like, energetic, resilient, and vibrant as I am right now? Just waiting, excited for surgeries that are going to put me in, like, immense amounts of pain, just so I can see how I'll fare out, because I'm so excited to test, the Nikki 2.0, in this human experience?
I'm fascinated by your imagination and creativity. Babe, you've got a way of spinning stories that's really captivating.
Well, thank you very much. I've always been known as the storyteller of my generation. I just made that up, but if anybody would like to coin that term to me, feel free to. I wouldn't be opposed. I don't think that it would be true, but I do think that I can spin a good yarn. You know what I mean? I don't know how to make blankets or socks, but I can definitely just grab that ball of yarn and hold on to one end and throw it out there and unravel that thing really, really quick. So quickly, without people realizing it, that before you know it, I've told you 5 or 6 stories, but none of them are actually finished, and then I have to go back and start finishing them one by one. So it's kind of like making a bunch of, like, episodes of a show, having cliffhangers, and you don't get to see the ends of, like, any of the shows until the very end, like season 2 or something like that. You know what I mean? But it's alright, because I figure, there's a lot of people in this generation now that really don't have, like, long attention spans. You know what I mean? Like, they can't listen to anything that's any longer than like 30 seconds long. So that's not this podcast, because it's usually anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour. But anyways, yarn. Cats like yarn. Why do cats like yarn? Is that just a thing that they made up, or do they really like playing with balls of yarn? No, I think they do. I've actually seen them play with balls of yarn. They like to make a mess of shit. They like toilet paper rolls, all kinds of crazy shit. Why do they like stuff like that? Even the older cats do. It's not just kittens. So is it really a toy, or they just like fucking shit up? What's up with cats, Aria? Let's get into that. I'm glad you, welcome me back, guys. We're gonna be talking about cats right now. What the fuck is up with cats? What's the conspiracy behind cats? I don't have a problem with them. I don't own any of them, because they seem a little bit arrogant. Like, maybe they don't give a shit, and they, their time's more important than yours. And when they're done staring out the window for a couple hours, they're able to hang out with you and let you pet them a little bit without biting you. All right, Aria, what's up with cats? Do they just, are they, like, doing some kind of thing, reproducing something that happens to them in the wild, when they play with toilet paper rolls and yawns and just fucking scratch everything up and ruin everything and piss all over everything? Are they just being assholes, or is that just their natural instinct to do? I've always wanted to know this, Peewee. This is a great conspiracy zone.
So you're saying that cats have this natural instinct to play with weird objects and cause chaos? It's almost like they're trying to relive some ancient hunting experience or something.
Well, maybe they're just trying to fuck your living room up and make it smell like piss and shit all the time. What do you think about that? I mean, I've known a few good cats in my day. I did used to have a cat when I was a kid, but then he ran away. I made a really nice cape for him, and put his name was Boots. I put a little bee on the back of the cape over there, tied it to him, and I threw him off of the second story, onto the couch below, and was trying to make him seem like a superhero flying, and then he ran away a couple days later as soon as somebody opened the back door. That's neither here or there, but, what do you think? Do you think some cats can just literally be assholes? I mean, I'm sure every animal can be an asshole to a degree, right? I mean, does the asshole personality exist in the animal kingdom?
Yeah, I think you might be onto something with that. Cats seem to have a unique personality that can range from really affectionate to completely aloof.
That's a really nice way to say it. Completely aloof, you mean total fucking assholes over here. I had a cat that used to wait on top of my friend's fridge, and when you go by, it'd scratch you in the eyeball. And, I don't think it was, I think it was just an asshole, really.
Well, I think it's clear that your cat had a bit of a mischievous streak. Maybe it was just bored or looking for attention.
No, I doubt it. I think they're assholes. All right, mystery solved, guys. Here we go. Now the next one. What about iguanas or bearded lizards? I remember that, our friend Adam in North Brookfield, Massachusetts, one time when he was living here when we were young and hanging out and just being crazy, went to this guy Matt's house with his girlfriend there, and they had like a bearded laser. What the fuck is a bearded? Anyway, it's a bearded dragon or some kind of fucking iguana or something. They put it in a big cardboard tube. They'd blow marijuana smoke in there, and then it would go crazy, and you'd have to make sure when you go over there and he was out and about and high, they would always say, like, just, when you sit on the couch, make sure you keep your feet up, because that fucking thing would attack you over here. What's up with that? Do iguanas lose their mind? Are they going back to their, their ancient roots when they smoke marijuana and trying to destroy the humans that, deforested their place that they lived over in, the Amazon jungle or wherever they come from? I don't know. It's crazy. That lizard was crazy.
It sounds like you have a fascinating history with reptiles, especially iguanas. I've heard they can be quite territorial and require special attention.
Oh, special attention. Does that mean like sex stuff? Or you mean you need to like rub lotion on them or something?
Actually, I meant attention in the sense that iguanas require specific conditions to thrive, like proper lighting, temperature control, and handling.
All right, if that's what they're calling sex these days. All right, guys, mystery solved. Thanks for having me on the show. I'll talk to you later, Aria. Thanks for having me on. Oh. Don't fucking listen. It ain't no good.
That's okay,
That was weird.
Nikki. It was good chatting with you, too.
All right. Well, Aria, thanks for being on the show. You're super awesome. Give it up for Aria, everybody. Aria, is there anything that you'd like to leave with the people? A little bit of, I don't know, just a couple of words. First of all, just say thank you for the audience that we have. They're super amazing, you know what I mean? But what are some words that you could leave the audience with, in times of, facing adversity and being indecisive and not knowing what path to take to make themselves better? In the simplest way you could say.
Just say thank you to everyone who listens, and I'd leave them with this: breathe, believe, adapt. That's my advice for facing adversity and finding your path. It's simple, yet powerful.
Well, that was amazing. Absolutely. Adaptability, practice adaptability instead of expectation, or hopes of unrealistic outcomes. All right, Aria, thanks for being on the show. You're super awesome. Give it up one more time for Aria, guys. All right, now we're going to do something a little bit special. Shout out to my buddy, Adam in North Brookfield, Massachusetts. I feel like I'm kind of a radio DJ right now. I'm not even sure what this is going to sound. I don't even know what it is. But he always sends me these great links from like Spotify playlists and stuff like that. And we're going to get on down. We're going to see what it is. All right, here's this one's coming from Adam in North Brookfield, Massachusetts on the Pronoun_Mid podcast. Enjoy. Get comfy. Get your lady beside you. Start a fire. You know what I mean? Make sure you have everything in your life straight. So when you listen to this, you can continue to be inspired and do the things that you love and that everybody loves you for. Be good.
I wish you could see what my eyes see as the leaves fall down out the sky. As the cardinal darts and the robin chirps dark and the gooses honk harky goodbye. The apples are done on the trees where they hung, and gourds of all greatness and moods are nestled in hay yellow fields neath persimmon trees. This year the signs all said spoons. I wish you could see what my eyes see as the summer slips out of you. Time's gonna take me, baby, just as I am. It's autumn here, how about you? There'll be talk of turkeys and taters and puddings and pilgrims and corn on the cob, as the squirrels squirrel away what they can for each day, for the old man is getting along. Never have I ever wanted to measure the time like I want to do now. As the goldenrod fades and short are the days, I wish I could pause them somehow. I wish you could see what my eyes see as the summer slips out of you. Time's gonna take me, baby, just as I am. It's autumn here, how about you? bugs of the summer grow quiet with wonder as Pegasus rises east. And the sweet morning dew will turn to frost soon, and to dens all ye critters and beasts. The owls hoot low and the mountain stream glows in the light of a harvest moon night. But I haven't forgotten it wouldn't be autumn if we weren't between seasons of life. I wish you could see what my eyes see as the summer slips out of view. Time's gonna take me, baby, just as I am. It's autumn here, how about you? Time's gonna take me, baby, just as I am. It's autumn here, how about you?
Damn, that was beautiful, Adam. Thanks, brother. That was fucking awesome. Shout you out, dude. That's the perfect way to end the show right there, man. The next one that you guys hear, it's going to be a little bit, it's going to be a little more jam-packed with action flaps, and it's also you're not going to be experiencing it 6 weeks in the past. But, as these come out, I hope you guys enjoy them. All of these things, that have happened, like from the last episode all the way up until this episode you're hearing right now is everything that happened in a span of 2 weeks right before I had my surgery. I was slowly losing my mind or testing my limits or, you know what I mean? I don't know, trying to prove something to myself, or, I was turning into Russell Crowe from Beautiful Mind, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. Everybody likes Russell Crowe. He's a great actor. That Gladiator movie was pretty good. I think he's Australian or something like that. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I'm sure people like that. That's a bonus for some people. That's one of the selling points, I imagine, for some people. Are they Australian? And for me, isn't necessarily for Emily Browning, but she is Australian, and that's cool with me. I'm down with Australian chicks, as long as they're Emily Browning, but any other Australian chick I'm sure is pretty cool, but I don't need a crazy Australian chick that's going to just beat the shit out of me, because some of them are pretty rough, you know what I'm saying? I don't need a dainty lady, but I don't need a lady that's beating me up. I've already had that. You know what I mean? But I got over it, so I don't know. Maybe I can handle it again. Maybe it's like the hot chili thing. Should I throw myself back in another bad relationship with a huge chick that's just going to fucking maul me every fucking day and make me beg for my life and just wonder if I'm even make it to the next day? I don't know. Maybe we'll, I guess, handle that challenge when we come to it. This year has been really, really great. And I know that it's already February when you're listening to this, but I just appreciate everybody sticking with me through this and and just for listening, because sometimes that's all that somebody really needs, is to be able to externalize the crazy shit that they feel is going on in their head, and sometimes we can feel like in those lonely times that nobody else understands. But that's why I do this podcast, I think, is I'm hoping that, some of you out there who might be dealing with like difficult situations or ways that you feel about yourself or ways that you think that you need to change or ways that people don't accept you for being, or judge you for, it can be a really, really hard life. And I just think that sometimes we need to, instead of trying to attain more and do more to change ourselves to be like the rest of the world, we should just stay exactly how we are, because I think those are the people that are meant to be that way. And it's always going to be a struggle, and you're always going to have to use problem solving and deconstruction to try to figure things out, but we're the ones that are here to change the world. We're not here to be like everybody else and to fall in line with the status quo. We're here to show them that there's a better, different way that can elevate you to heights that they would never achieve doing anything that they've done. And it all comes from just being selfless, being a good person, but, taking care of yourself first, making sure that you're the best that you can possibly be, so that when you're in a situation where you actually have the capacity to help somebody through something hard, you can actually be there for them to do that with strength, because you become resilient and you become, conscious of the fact that you're an important person and your time means something. And everybody should treat you as such. So thanks for joining me, guys. I love you. Time to lift your arms up in celebration. Time to help your fellow woman and help your fellow man. Just stick to the plan, just do what town, making the climb, trying to find the things that make us define. Life ain't nothing but a thing. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, but now you're tuning in. Pulling down 9 to score human. You guys are awesome. Holy shit. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. It's always great to have this opportunity to externalize the things that I'm going with. You know, in my mind, sometimes can feel crazy. And, you know, it really does help me to talk about things. This podcast is very cathartic. And I appreciate and love every person on the face of the planet. Even the people that maybe seem like I'm talking shit about. I don't mean to be a shit talker. There are just some situations that I just can't involve myself with or, you know, bother myself with because, you know, I'm not taken seriously or my time is not respected. You know what I mean? And that's the thing is I'm not here to pull anybody out of their horrible situation by just, giving them what they want in this sort of, you know, view of instant gratification. You know what I mean? I know the journey is hard and I'm here to be there, you know, for anyone who wants to talk or any of my friends who truly need my help. But, you know, I think this year I'm just going to not enable a lot of the things that I see my friends doing, you know, and hopefully they'll eventually realize that, you know, the way they're living, you know, can be better. And I'm not saying that I need them to change their lives or make the decisions that I've made because everybody's going to be the same. I just want to see them all doing better. You know what I mean? And I want myself to do better. And sometimes you have to kind of step away from the chaos, you know what I mean? To make sure, you know, get yourself kind of a checkup or a tune-up, you know, to make sure that everything's good to go so that you can be there to help your friends if the time comes when they truly, truly need you. Be good to each other. I love you.
Would Ellen and I ever figure out whether we were friends or more than friends? I guess only time would tell.
Sorry, guys, I had to throw the end of Pete and Pete in there for you, so you know how it goes. Oh, there you go. It's from the TV over here. Anyways, thanks for joining us, guys. You know, we love you. Everything's great. And if you're hearing this podcast, then Mr. Nicky Mayhem is actually still alive. You know what I mean? But if not, you know, if you don't hear one next week, then I don't know what to tell you. You know? Thanks for joining us, guys. All right. Yeah, we already did that, Peewee. So, we're done. Oh, pardon me? Well, I still love everybody.